What up, y'all? It is your girl, Mayday Mayhem, and I am coming back at y'all with what? Mayday Mayhem Chit Chat. And we gonna do some chitting and some chatting today. Yes, we gonna catch up, we gonna talk. We're gonna talk about some shit that you probably didn't know, and you finna find out today. We finna talk. We gonna talk today. But first, let's get into the seriousness of the situations, okay? You probably noticed that I was putting up videos and then I stopped, then I came back, and I kind of probably sounded a little weird, and then I stopped, and I'm back now. Excuse me. Get my coffee. Got my Dunkin'. Walked down there and got me a cup before I started. To come let y'all know, I had COVID, and the month of March was month of madness. I might say it was a very, very chaotic month for me in my whole life. What? But yes, I caught COVID. It wasn't to my doing. I wasn't licking toilet seats and anything of that nature. Because that's what I always say. Don't be licking toilet seats and, kissing penguins and all this type of shit. Not saying that the penguins did anything, penguins don't do nothing to nobody that I know of, you know what I'm saying? But I did catch COVID. And it wasn't to anyone's fault. It is what it is. It's a virus. I never not took it seriously, but it's a virus, like the cold, the flu. It is a deadly virus, I might say, for some people. Am I vaccinated? No. Are my children vaccinated? No. And we have our own reasons why. Tuskegee, excuse me, I don't know if you caught that. Tuskegee, 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 Tuskegee experiment. But that's just my reasons why. Everyone has their own reasons why. But to be all, excuse my phone. To be all fairness, no, I was not vaccinated. Some of you know, some of you may not know. To some of my new viewers and new listeners, I was in a very, very serious accident about 13 years ago, where I have a plate and four screws in my neck. I sustained a lot of damage to my spinal column. I also have an autoimmune situation called fibromyalgia, where my nervous system is like pretty much shot. My triggers are like stress, very high stress impact situation, no triggers to a fact to where I literally can't, like, when I say I can't move, it's like, can't, like, I almost need help to walk from, like, you know, my nerves will go that bad. I also have migraine. I have fibroid. So I have my reasons on why I did not get back. My children have a 12-year-old at this time of this recording. They have a 6-year-old. We both have cold in their heart. It's a birth defect that they both were born with. It's nothing that we could have done or anything. And when we found out pretty much after the fact, like after the 12-year-old was born, the 6-year-old was already dead. Okay? When we found out the 12-year-old had a heart, so it's like, oh crap, yeah, what's hard? That's a big check, like, oh, yeah, so it's, and it doesn't stop there. So we were there, they both were very I know. Just said, my teacher don't shine. I know that my I can get out there and do what I can. I just want my mother has so when I found out I had it wasn't COVID necessarily that made it was the stress. Like, oh shit, I got COVID. Born, take vitamins, vitamin 3D, vitamin C, um, get the proper amount of sleep. Um, I hate saying uh, um, eat the proper amount of food, proper amount of vegetables, proper amount of fruit. Um, like some parents have a hard time giving their children, excuse me, or excuse me, giving their children like vegetables, like broccoli, cauliflower. I never had that problem with my children. They always ate their vegetables. They always ate their mixed vegetables. I never had to drench it in cheese or sugar. They always ate their rice, their spinach, their asparagus, their Brussels sprouts. I never had a problem. I'm playing with my little fidget thingy right here. I never had a problem with them eating vegetables. I never had a problem with them eating fruit. I would literally have to tell them, like, no, you've had enough vegetables. No, you've had enough fruit. No, you've had enough for today. No, no, you've had enough yogurt. I've never had to force them to eat these foods. You know what I'm saying? Of course, we like our fast food. Of course, I will fuck up a McChicken with some mayonnaise, tomato, lettuce, little extra mayo, couple pickles. I will fuck up a McChicken. But I don't cook a lot of fried foods. A lot of foods that we eat are baked foods. Um, my 6-year-old loves salmon. So, excuse me, a lot of times I have to go and buy fresh salmon, or I buy the packs of the frozen salmon, and she will tell me ahead of time, Mommy, I want some salmon. That means I better make sure I have her salmon unthawed that night before, or make sure that day of I take it out of the freezer and make sure it's ready for her when she gets home. And she likes it with the lemon and the basil. I don't know why, but she's a very bougie eater. I don't know. I like my Mal sauce with the fries and the you know pizza puff. I don't know if I'm showing my west side or something, but I want the pizza puff, the fries with the Mal sauce. You know what I'm saying? The pizza puff, a gyro. Why she. It is what it is. I just cook the food, and she wants that. Um, like literally, I had to talk her down. We went to Olive Garden a couple of weeks ago. Y'all know I had to talk her ass down from ordering the $17.99 salmon. She was like, no, I think I want the salmon. I'm like, you don't want the pizza? I can make the $17.99 salmon at home. You don't want the pizza? Until she had to think about it like, would I have to share the pizza? I'm like, no, it was your own personal pizza. She thought about it. I'll take the pizza. And she was like, this pizza's pretty well put together. I'm like, oh, okay. The pizza's pretty well put together. Excuse me. Let her eat her pizza, y'all. Just let her eat it. So, but each child is different. But I usually teach them, I brought them up to eat kind of sort of healthy. So when COVID did come about, they were already used to taking their vitamins, getting their rest, diet supplements. They were already used to it. They were already in the mix of doing it. So, and I'm sorry to let y'all know again, this is pre-recorded. So if y'all talking to me and I ain't answering, I ain't being disrespectful as fuck. I'm really not. This is just pre-recorded. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to come live and really conversate with y'all. But this is pre-recorded. Cause like one day, one of my homies, he like called me on the phone like, "Is you mad?" I'm like, "Why would I be mad, bro?" Cause I was talking to you and you ain't answering me back. I'm like, "Whoa, bro, I'm driving on the way to a show." He was like, "You slicker than a Detroit pimp." I'm like, "I'm from Chicago. I'm from Chicago." He was like, "Have a good day." And I'm like, "Okay, bruh. Keep hope alive." And he hung up. And I was like, okay. Because some of you that may not know, I am also a comedian here in Chicago. So a lot of times I will pre-record these shows like this, like now the house is quiet while my children are at school. And then, I'll pick them up, put in my descriptions and stuff in the box below. And then I will send this out while I'm doing something else. You know what I'm saying? That's how I get a lot of shit done. I do. Because I'm also going to school right now during this time. And I also do a little sewing on the side. So I make these videos and I might put them out. Like sometime I might record a video in the middle of the night and put it out the next day. So I'm just letting y'all know I'm not being disrespectful. This is just a pre-recorded video. I'm just being 100, But back to the Mr. Covey and me. So when I found out, of course, I even isolated the cat. I told her she had to stay in the spare room. Like the cat had her own spare bedroom. We have a hamster here too. The hamster had her own spare room also. I don't know how lucky the hamster was to have her own spare room, but she had her own spare room. So I isolated everyone off. I was only sick with flu-like symptoms for 24 hours. Now, I do know I have had family members and friends that have lost their lives to this virus. It is a serious virus. I only felt flu-like symptoms for 24 hours. Like, I was only sick for 24 hours. Now, that was good for me because I still had two more people to take care of. I had a 12-year-old and a 6-year-old to take care of, which they weren't that sick, which I praise God. Thank you, Jesus, Heavenly Father, that they weren't that sick. Thank you, Creator. They were sick the same way for about 1 or 2 days. The 12-year-old, the 6-year-old was about sick 1 or 2 days. We never lost our taste. We never lost our smell. We were a little nasally. But other than that, we were only sick like 24 hours. I was sick 24 hours because I tracked it. I was sick 24 hours. The children was sick for about 36 hours. Um, I knew I had to track it because once you have a positive diagnosis here in Illinois, the Board of Health contacts you, the IDPA, Illinois Department of Public, them motherfuckers. Yeah, they contact you. And it's just because you're being counted because you have a positive result. So I knew that once I got that positive result, that I was going to have to track everything between me and the girls. So of course I tracked everything. I have some prior doctor office situations here. Excuse me, sorry. Scams always trying to get me when I'm doing something. Scam likely, you know what I'm saying? Spam likely. So like I said, I isolated. I took down any information, if it was any vomiting, any diarrhea, any rigor, any chills. And another thing that I noticed, we never had a fever. I was waiting on the fever. We never had a fever, which was weird. Like I literally documented excuse me, the whole 10 days. They told us we only had to isolate 5. I isolated us 10 days. I did 10 days. I literally did 10 days. So I was able to document and see, okay, we didn't get fevers. We didn't get I think only 2 of us had the vomiting situation. And this, like I said, this is helpful to other people because some people may not get the regular symptoms. Some people might have worse symptoms. None of us, thank the Lord, had to go to the hospital. Some people are hospitalized due to this virus. But again, our bodies fought it off with natural immunity, and we actually had medication in the house. The same thing that you would take for the cold and the flu. Not saying that that's the remedy, but that's what we took, cold and flu medication. And then even the IDPA was telling me and IDPA is another name for CDC. They were telling me that if you contract COVID, and within the first 5 days, if you go to your primary care physician, there is medication, like a pill that they can give you that will help soften the symptoms of COVID. But that's for people that have symptoms that are really, really, really bad. Excuse me. And our symptoms weren't that bad. So, like I said, I noticed in myself, I had flu-like symptoms for literally 24 hours. The children had flu-like symptoms for 24, maybe about 36 to 48 hours. Only one had vomiting situation. The other one did not. Both had a diarrhea situation. Both laid around. Neither one of them wanted to eat. I fed them soups, and because you want to they have to have something on their stomach. I went old school, like tea and toast. The tea with honey, lemon, excuse me, a little sugar, to keep some type of fluids going in their body. Have to have fluids. I noticed I was very thirsty. I had made sure they had water, drink plenty of water, electrolytes, Gatorade. Tried to keep them with lots of fluids. You didn't want them to dehydrate, due to vomiting or diarrhea. That's a real quick way to dehydrate. You don't want that. So I just really tried to keep them and myself, because as parents, it's hard to excuse me, lay back and try to 100% recoup when, guess what, they're sick. You can't recoup all the way. They're not well. Even the cat was laying around. So it was an experience. It was definitely an experience. I can say that. Um would I want to do it again? Hell no. Fuck no. No. Was I doubtful of COVID? No. No, absolutely not. Um do I understand what everyone was afraid of? Yeah. Yeah, it was very scary, cuz I was literally okay one day, and the next day I was literally boom down. At least with the flu, you could kind of feel the flu creeping up on you. But my nose started running a little bit. Oh God, my nose look a little red. Oh God. Starting to get a little cough there. It's not like that with COVID. It's like, hey, how y'all doing? One minute, next minute it's like, dunk up. Like, oh God, I'm going home and lay down. That's literally how it was. And on top of the COVID, I had a fibro attack, which my fibro attacks can last from a day to a couple of weeks. So on top of me having COVID, I had a fibromyalgia attack, which it was hard after I finished dealing with the COVID symptoms. The fibromyalgia was still lingering. So I was dealing with the aches and pains of my fibromyalgia. And I have to know the difference, because some of those symptoms coincide with the symptoms of COVID. But with me with me dealing with fibromyalgia so long, I know kind of which is which. Like, no, this is this is definitely fibro, because the heat is coming from the joint. It's not coming from the body. It's actually coming. It's coming from the joint. And this is nothing that, oh, this is an old lady disease. No, this is something that even children are born with. Your nerves are out of whack. It's nothing you can do about it. And like I said, stress brings on minds. And when I found out COVID was brought into the house, and I tested positive first, because again, I'm an entertainer. I always get tested, even if I'm not doing shows, or if I don't have a gig. I constantly get I get tested. So if I do come up positive, I can kind of pinpoint. And that's exactly what it was. It was to the point where I was able to pinpoint exactly where it came from. No, we were here, we were there, and this is how we got it. I was literally able to pinpoint it with no problems, because I test so frequently. Like, it was one point in time I was getting tested twice a week. I was getting tested once in the beginning and once in the middle, because I would do shows at the end of the week. So that means I'm tested 2 days before and like 2 days after I've interacted with people. You know what I'm saying? And that's to make sure that I don't bring anything home to my children, you know? And that would be even if I was vaccinated, because I do have parts of my family that are very, very, very close to me that come in and out of my house they are vaccinated, and they get tested. Like, no, we're cool, because they don't want to bring anything into my house neither. You know, so it's a double-edged sword. I'm very thankful that we're okay, we're thriving, we're strong, we're good. We're here. I'm very, like I said again, thankful and happy that we're fine. We're thriving. We're here. We're good. During that time, though, when I was out with my COVID, I had time to sit back and think. And something that always stays on my mind, whether y'all think about it or not, is the Chicago Strangler. It always stays on my mind, because I grew up in Chicago. West Side to the day I die. I grew up on the west side of Chicago. You know what I'm saying? I went to one of the biggest high schools in the west side of Chicago. I have family from the south side. So I would travel from the west side of Chicago to the south side of Chicago on the regular. We talking from Garfield Park to 95th. You know what I'm saying? To Roseland. Garfield Park to Roseland. So when I think of the Chicago Strangler, it takes me back. Because we're talking, excuse me, we're talking early 2000s all the way up into now. And I think back of early 2000s, I'm not going to lie, I was a mother. I became a mother in late 2001. I was 19 when I became a mother. So even though I was a mother, I was still connected to the ground. You know what I'm saying? I was always listening for things that would happen in the streets. And I can remember hearing that, oh, they found a woman in the garbage can on the south side. You know, she was allegedly a prostitute. Well, they found another woman, you know what I'm saying, burned in the garbage can in the south side. And now, in hindsight, looking back, those are the women that I heard about when I was younger. And as I was, like I said, I was sitting back in my couch. Other people just took over my rooms. I was sitting back and I was just laying there thinking, like, I remember those cases. I remember those women that was found in those abandoned houses. I can't remember the names, but I remember the stories, because I've always been into watching the news. And it's like, it also reminds me of the Night Stalker case. And anybody that knows about the Night Stalker case, that's Richard Ramirez. It's the Night Stalker. That's he plagued. He tore up, you know, Los Angeles at this time. And he actually wore a pentagram. If you look up Richard Ramirez, he was the Night Stalker. But what made me think about him and the Chicago Strangler. Now, a lot of people said the victimology of the Chicago Strangler has to be several people. But I'm thinking, could it be several people or could it just be one person? Why do I say that? Well, we know some of the people, some of the victims of the quote unquote Chicago Strangler are not victims of Chicago Strangler. Just like the young lady that lost her life a few months back, Christina Eichmann. They tried to say, hold on one second, you guys. Give me 1 second. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Had a phone call. That was important. Christina Eichmann. And I remember a comment when that young lady went missing. Someone asked me, do you think it's the Chicago Strangler? And I came back and I honestly said no. Victimology doesn't follow it. No. For one, again, when Charisma, I'm sorry, I said Christine, her name is Charisma. Charisma Eichmann came up missing. It was in the middle of a snowstorm. And it was too many circumstances that it doesn't follow the quote unquote Chicago Strangler's MO. His MO is to be found in an abandoned building. His MO is to be found in a garbage can. His MO is to be found by train tracks. Excuse me, not train tracks. L tracks. Places where you wouldn't normally frequent. You know what I'm saying? And Charisma was found in her car, strangled and smothered in the back seat of her own car. That doesn't fit the victimology of the Chicago Strangler. He wouldn't leave his victims, and I hate to sound so malice, he wouldn't leave them out in the open like that. His opening is totally different. Now, he has allegedly left some people in fields. But again, some of the quote unquote victims that they've classified under the Chicago Strangler is not his victims. It's not. They are most likely ex-boyfriends, vengeful boyfriends, excuse me, ex-lovers, ex-business partners, things of that nature. But a lot of these women that have been missing, now they've classified it up to 55, but we already know that it's well into probably the hundreds that are missing in Chicago. And you ask the question, well, is one person or two people responsible for all these killings? And I say yes. And you can literally look at Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker. His victimology started off as killing just single women, women alone. Stop, kitty cat. Started killing just one woman, single individual women. He would shoot them just getting out of their cars, He liked it, the element of surprise. He got off on the element of fear. He got off on the element of that that shock value. Cause one woman, he allegedly pulled out of her car and just shot her. He didn't take the car. He didn't rob her. It was just purely for the shock value. Another woman, he came into the house. He sexually assaulted her. He killed her. Then he allegedly shot the roommate that came in. And he was so shocked that the roommate was there that he ran past the roommate. Like he was just shocked. The victimology is just of the challenge of surprise. Like some people get off on fear alone, and he was one of those ones that was, he was getting off on the fear of just killing one person, one woman. Then he evolved. You can look up Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker. Look him up. I looked him up. And you will see his victimology changes from single individuals to where he was catching women on the streets, to then he got comfortable enough to getting women in their houses. So then he changed his victimology to get comfortable enough to getting couples in their home. Now, Richard Ramirez walked up on one couple where he shot one woman in the head and he shot another man in the head. But the bullets were bad. It was old ammunition. It was old ammunition. So what did he do? The man really pretty much overpowered Rich Ramirez and ran him up out of there. So he shot the wife, he shot the husband, and when he saw that, oh shit, these bullets didn't do anything, because I believe it was either 22 or 25 caliber bullet, and the ammunition was old. When he saw that he couldn't overpower the husband, and the husband was tagging that ass for to tag that ass, he ran off. But he struck again. This time he had better ammunition. So he then again shot a husband, shot a wife, sexually assaulted her. Now this is where it gets a little graphic. Threw up and masturbated in the living room. His victimology has changed from a single individual alone outside to becoming comfortable into an individual's house, to now I become comfortable with two individuals, a husband and wife. And then his victimology changed to the sorts to where he would kill the people and he would eat their food. Write pentagrams and shit on their walls. And don't forget, this is during the time of Sharon Stone. Not Sharon Stone. Sharon Tate. When she was killed by Charles Manson's family and all that bullshit, them cult leaders back there then. So, yeah, back that in. So they finally caught Rich Ramirez. Finally caught him. Found out he was the Night Stalker. And the rest of the case is history. He was supposed to get the death penalty, but he ended up dying in jail. The end. However, the reason I bring him up is because the victimology, it changed. It changed from single, outside, inside, to double. And it all was still based on one thing: seeing the fear in the individual's eyes. Excuse me. And I wonder, when it comes to Chicago Strangler, Did he ever send any information to the police? Does he like the name, the Chicago Strangler? Because it's even said that Richard Ramirez, they tried to come up with several different names for him. And the Night Stalker kind of stuck. He liked that name, the Night Stalker. So I'm pretty sure the Chicago Strangler, he likes that name. What has made his victimology evolve over all these years? Another thing, excuse me, that you could take from Richard Ramirez's book and all other serial killers' books. The times that we have had breaks here where it was no killings, was that times where he was in other states, other counties, probably committing crimes? Was he near other family members? If he wasn't here in Chicago, was he potentially in Minnesota? Was he potentially in Indiana? Was he potentially in Kentucky, Arkansas, California, Colorado? Is there any victims in other states, counties that has the same, you did that these victims have? And maybe it's not connecting because, they're not crossing references with each county or each city. These are things to think of. Because killers never really just stop. They just move on to kill in other places. Like I said, again, the Night Stalker, he went to different areas. On times when he wasn't killing in California, he was in Seattle. Then he would come back to Cali. It was a cross country event. So some of them times that the Chicago Strangler wasn't killing here, was he or they committing crimes in other places? Because let's think about it. If it's more than one serial killer, the killings wouldn't have stopped, maybe slowed down, but not stopped completely. If they were in jail, again, the crimes wouldn't have stopped completely just because one individual is off the streets. And you're saying, well, it's possibly 3 or 4 individuals. Well, that means it would have been a less impact of crime versus no impact. Oh, it's impossible. One person can't do all this killing. Have you seen Ted Bundy? Richard Ramirez even assaulted a 6-year-old. A 6-year-old. That was a part of his victimology, but he did. So who's to say one person wouldn't be accountable for up to 75 murders? I'm not including the ones where we're pretty sure that it was an ex-spouse or business partner or someone that they knew. I'm talking about the ones that we're for sure this is a person of the same victimology, and we're going to say 75 women. It's not out the box for one person to kill 75 women. It's not out the box. Oh, but it was a break during this time. That's even more telling. If it was a break for 2 years, well, in 2 years, was there a crime that fit this same victimology in Kentucky? Did you check the Kentucky records? Their major metropolitan area. Was there a crime that fit this victimology? Minnesota, Indiana. I'm just naming off places in the Midwest. Wisconsin, Michigan, Kentucky, Arkansas, Tennessee. Was it anywhere in these places where we have victims just during this 2 or 3 year period of time that could possibly be one of this man's victims? And if so, does he have family there? Is he a businessman? Don't tell me businessmen aren't responsible. We have the case in Florida where he's an actual real estate agent and he was killing homeless people. And his victimology changed from shooting to stabbing. And they caught him on camera. I'm just saying. Look at it. Don't look at it from just one scope where, oh, no, it can't be. No. We have to look at it from all avenues. And especially if you're telling me, oh, well, during 2012, this is totally off the record. I'm just saying allegedly. During 2012 and 2013, 2012 and 2015, there were no crimes committed like this. Well, was there crimes committed like this in surrounding areas, in surrounding states? If so, excuse me, that may be your connection. That might be your connection. I'm just saying, because it's just, excuse me, it's just bewildering to me that, of course, no one's looking for missing Black women or missing women or girls that they don't think are beneficial to society because of their income or where they come from or their level in society. And I'm just not talking about Black, I'm talking about white, Hispanic, green, purple, blue, orange, yellow. I don't care what color you is. If you come from a certain side of the track, you're not cared for as much. So the police will not care as much, excuse me, about you missing as they would about a Gabby Petito. That's the only person I can think of that comes to light that I can think of that the whole United States shut down looking for her. And in looking for Gabby Petito, they found literally 8 to 9 missing people, one of which had been missing a whole year. I'm just saying. So that's food for thought, especially when you think about the Chicago Strangler. And girls are still coming up missing. It's still happening. Like, again, has he sent any information to the police and the police are just not divulging it? Or they may not feel it's important, or they just might feel it's just a deranged person just spewing things off. That's something to think about. It really is something to think about. So leave that with y'all, your thoughts. What do you think? Leave me a comment below. Leave me a comment. Or if you really want to get into depth or really come talk to me really one-on-one with it, hit me up on my IG at Mayday_mayhem and hit me in my DMs. And I want to help and try to figure out what the hell is going on. Again, leave me a comment below. Sometimes YouTube give me comments and sometimes they don't. But if you really, really, really trying to get in contact with me, like I said, hit me on my IG at Mayday_mayhem, or you can hit me at my website at MaydayMayhem.com. That's going to instantly connect you to my Facebook, and you'll be able to contact me through there also. So let's get this community going and, try to figure out what's going on and try to find out some of this shit ain't right. You know what I'm saying? We can help one another to grow and try to figure out some of these crimes and solve some of this stuff on our own. You know what I'm saying? One brain is better than two. And right now we got 93 brains, which is better than one. So if we could get to 1,000 brains, I'm just saying, that could be better than this one brain. I'm just saying, putting it out there. But again, thank you for coming in and hollering at me today. Please like and subscribe for more content. Again, if no one told you they love you, I do. I truly, truly do. That's why I'm doing this. Make sure you do better today than you did yesterday and strive for a better tomorrow. Today, because you don't know what you do today may change the world tomorrow. All right? Let's keep it cracking. Let's keep it going. Everybody, please stay safe. Stay healthy. And I will see y'all next time for another Mayday Mayhem mystery. Or we just going to be throwing up some Mayday Mayhems up in here. Just getting mayhematic. I just made up a new word. You can do it too. But no, let's have a real serious conversation. And seriously, what are your thoughts on the Chicago Strangler? What are your thoughts? I'll see you guys.